Hey everyone, Chimera45 here. Welcome to my very first Dragon Ball Super review. It is going to be on the very first episode of the English dub that aired last Friday, Saturday. It's been a couple of days. I'm already late to the first review, but that's just typical me fashion. So, we're just going to start off with what happened in the episode. So the episode starts off with actually the Japanese intro, which I thought was pretty cool and also pretty lazy at the same time. I feel like they could have made an English intro. It's a little annoying though because they cut out some of it, like little tiny pieces in between they cut out just to make it just a minute long or something like that. I don't even know. But anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool that they used the intro from Japan for the English dub. So then it starts off with a nice little recap of what happened at the end of the Buu saga, with how everyone gave their energy to Goku to make a massive spirit bomb to finish off Kid Buu and all that. And apparently this episode takes place a few months later. So we see Goku, he's actually working out on the field. If you watch that Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return special that came out a few years ago, showed us that Goku actually became a radish farmer, which is ironic because his brother Raditz, Radish. In case you don't know, Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, huge name pun person. He loves making puns out of names. Vegeta, vegetable, he's the prince of all Saiyans, is King Vegeta, king of all vegetables. Goes on and on and on and on with pretty much every single Saiyan. So we see him working in his field, working on his tractor and all that, and we get a funny little scene where a stump stops his tractor, so he gets out and he's trying to rip it out of the ground. And he says it's as stubborn as Vegeta before he finally manages to yank it out and just toss it aside. Goes back to work for a few minutes, and all of a sudden Goten shows up with his lunch. Goku's like, "Isn't it a little early for school to be out?" He's like, "No, Dad, it's Sunday." So Goku, seeing this as the perfect opportunity, is like, "Okay, cool. You work the field while I eat." Goten's like, "Okay." Little Goten goes and starts using the tractor. Goku chows down, typical Goku style. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball and you've seen Goku eat, you know how it goes. So while Goten is plowing the tractor and Goku finishes eating, he's like, "Okay, time to train a little bit." Goes Super Saiyan, starts training, but this distracts Goten, who doesn't pay attention to where he's going and falls right off of the mountain that they're farming on. For some reason, they're farming on a mountain. I mean, I guess it's all they have available around them are mountains, but still, it seems kind of dangerous. So Goten and the tractor are falling. Now, Goten is pretty strong himself, so I'm pretty sure he could have flown out, grabbed the tractor, and been okay, but Goku saves them by using instant transmission, catches them real quick, brings them up. Goku's like, "Come on, Goten, you gotta be a little more observant when you're doing this kind of stuff so I can train." Goten doesn't really think Goku should train anymore since they already beat Kid Buu, but Goku's like, "Nah, I wouldn't have been able to beat Kid Buu on my own, so I have to train, get stronger, because you never know who's out there who could be even stronger." But Goten's like, "What about Mom? And she wants you to make money." And it cuts over to Chi-Chi yelling at Goku about how he needs to make money, and that's one thing that I have a dislike about, we'll get to that later in the video, is Chi-Chi's voice. And Goten's a little bit, but we'll get into that later. But Goku really just wants to train. He really wants to go to King Kai's planet to train, but he can't because Chi-Chi wants him to make money. Goku really doesn't know how to make money aside from farming and all that. But Goten's like, "You could always do what Mr. Satan does." That's Hercule. It's really weird hearing him called Mr. Satan. I'm just used to it being Hercule, I guess. But Goku's like, I'd rather be out here where I can work and train at the same time. And they have a little gag scene at the whole farm pretty much being destroyed from Goku doing just a few minutes of training. So then the episode goes on to show Beerus and Wiese at a planet. This is the first time we're seeing them in Dragon Ball Super, so you're really not supposed to know who they are and all that. But Beerus is chowing down on a whole bunch of food that's given to him by these pigmen. I'm not really sure what their race is called. And he seems to be enjoying it. And then when he gets to the dessert and he tries it, he says it tastes good, but it's too greasy. So instead of destroying the whole planet, he only destroys half of it, which I think is kind of funny. He literally just tapped on the table and boom, half of their planet is gone. So this episode has like a weird pacing with the storytelling. It's like all over the place, trying to show a whole bunch of different characters at once. So it cuts from Beerus and Wiese watching the planet be destroyed to Hercule giving a speech in front of a whole bunch of media proclaiming how under his protection under his protection Earth is now permanently in a state of peace. Like, no alien invaders are ever going to come down or anything like that ever again, because they're all in fear of his name. So as the media is just eating this up, Fat Boo, who, in case you don't know, survived the end of the Boo arc and is still around, but they used the Dragon Balls to wish away everyone's memory of Majin Buu so he could live on Earth in peace. It was pretty cool. He busts in there and he wants food. Mr. Satan's like, just go away and I'll get you food later. That pisses Boo off, so Hercule has to make an excuse to the paparazzi to go off to get Boo food. But he gets crushed underneath a whole bunch of snack cans and stuff like that that I guess are empty, that Boo already ate. He's yelling for Videl to come help him, but we see that Videl is off with Gohan. She just bought him this really nice book, and Gohan is feeling a little bad that he can't get her anything nice, but she just tells him, don't worry about it, my dad's got so much money, it doesn't even matter. You just focus on studying so that you can become a scholar. They have a cute little moment. But it's kind of ruined when we see Piccolo on a rooftop, like right across the street, spying on them. I don't really get what that's all about. I thought that was really, really weird. I don't really know why he was there. So next we see Goten and Trunks. I guess this is earlier in the day, like right before Goten brought Goku food. Goten and Trunks are looking to get Videl a wedding present because Goten hasn't gotten her anything yet. So at first Trunks is like, okay, let's go to the jewelry store. But they're flying around in the jewelry store looking at all the rings and all that. And to a normal person, they look really nice. They're like 24 karat, like thumb-sized diamonds and stuff like that. Trunks and Goten are calling them pebbles and stuff like that. It's just a funny scene because they're kids and stuff like that, So they go to get her skincare cream. It's funny they call it toilet water because it's called like au lait du toit or something like that, and they must pronounce it as toilet or something. It's weird but funny at the same time. They go to get her some of that cream, face care cream, but it's way too expensive. While they're in the store, they overhear this old man complaining about the prices and how back home he has hot springs that would work on your skin a lot better than the cream that they have and all that available. So Goten and Trunks track down his village and get a jug full of the hot spring water, not realizing that you actually have to go there and soak in the hot springs in order for it to actually affect you. They think if you just have the water, you get the treatment. They're just little kids, they don't really know much better. I guess they're still like 7 and 8 at this time. Goten's 7 and Trunks is 8. I think that's around the age they are right now. But anyway, as they go to fill up the water jug, they get attacked by this giant snake, and they have a little bit of trouble with it at first because they're just holding back, not trying to kill it. But then Trunks is like, alright, hold on, and just wails on it for a few minutes and scares it away. And they bring the unharmed jug of water back to Videl, and they give it to her. And at first she's like, oh wow, this must be that au lait du toit or whatever that everyone's talking about. And she goes to use it, but when she puts it on, she realizes, oh, this is just ordinary water. She thinks that to herself, but she sees how excited and how proud Goten and Trunks are of themselves and how happy they are to actually be able to give her something, that she just pretends that it's exactly what they think it is, something that's really going to help her skin. And I just thought that was really cool. Like a cool little moment for Videl, showing off her character and how she is just genuinely a nice person. And Goten and Trunks are of course like, yeah, we did good. If you ever run out, we can go get you more and stuff like that. That was a really, really cool little scene. And it ends with Goten and Goku talking. And Goku's like, you did good work. You did a good thing, Goten. And they're going on about how Hercule bought them this huge expensive house and how he's treating them so well. And then Hercule actually shows up. He's strictly referred to as Mr. Satan. I haven't heard him referred to as Hercule yet, but I'm just going to keep calling him Hercule. I'm sorry, I'm just too used to that name. So Hercule shows up and tells Goku how he was presented an award earlier by the World National Peace Center or something like that, pretty much like our United Nations, and they gave him a $100 million Zenny reward. So That's a pretty substantial reward. And Goku is like, no, 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 I can't accept I can't accept that. That's way too much. And they're going on, and Vegeta, they're going on and on and on. And Hercule's like, no, no, please take it. You're the one who really deserves it. And besides, Vegeta already said no. Vegeta is already married into Bulma's family, who are the richest people on the planet. So he doesn't need money. And Goku's like, it shows his naivety right here. Because he's like, how much exactly is 100 million? Is it more than 100,000? And Hercule's like, yeah, it's like 1,000 times more than that. And Goku's like, whoa, now I really don't want it. But then Goten's like, maybe you should take it, Dad. If you show up with all this money, Mom will let you go train. And so Goku's torn between not wanting to accept so much money and his burning desire to go train. And eventually he's like, all right, I'll take the money. So Hercule hands it over. Like, just do me a favor, don't tell anyone I gave you this money. I have a reputation to uphold. So he gets into his car, off they go. And yeah, that's pretty much how the episode ends. Except we see one last brief glimpse of the Elder Kai and Supreme Kai. And they're looking like off into space. And they're wondering what's going on. Why are all these planets suddenly being destroyed? I think Elder Kai knows right now, but Supreme Kai does not know. And that is the end of the episode. Alright, so now we're going to go into my likes, dislikes, and thoughts on the episode. I liked a lot of the returning voices. Goku was fine. Gohan and Videl, they both sounded fine. Goten, in some spots, it sounded a little off, but in other parts, she did fine. I'm pretty sure it's a girl voicing her. Beerus and Wiese, of course, were fine. Hercule and Boo. Bulma, they were all good. The music in the video, in the episode, was really good. Like when Beerus was there, you just heard the ominous music in the background. When it was just, goofy scenes, you heard, the happy music in the background. Just the music was really fitting. Trunks has a new voice actor, but you can't tell the difference really. You can, if you have sensitive hearing. I have sensitive hearing personally. You can tell the difference, but she does such a good job that you can't tell the difference. It's one of those things. Journey's new singer. How you can tell the difference between him and the original, but he does such a good job that you can just accept it almost. That's pretty much how it is here. And one other thing I liked is I do like how they give an explanation as to why Chi-Chi wants or needs money so badly. Why the Sun family needs money so badly. It's because in that fire from Dragon Ball, if you remember way back when the Ox King's mansion or castle caught on fire, Master Roshi literally obliterated that mountain trying to put out the fire. So he destroyed all of their inheritance and all their money and stuff like that. So the Ox King no longer has money. So Chi-Chi no longer has an inheritance. So they no longer have any money whatsoever. And I really liked Videl's show of character when Trunks and Goten brought her that water. At first she was like, oh, this must be really expensive facial cream, but when she finds out it's not, it's just ordinary water, she doesn't get upset or angry or ridicule them. She just puts on a nice happy smile, puts it all over, just puts the rest on her cheeks, and she's like, thank you guys, I'm a lucky girl to have such caring little brother-in-law. Goten is definitely a brother-in-law. Trunks, I guess, is just a close friend that she would consider like a little brother. I mean, she has been around them for a long time now. There were a few things that I disliked. Chi-Chi's voice, I don't know if maybe she hasn't done it since Battle of Gods, which has been a few years now, won't lie. Or if they just got someone new for her, but I did not like her voice. It just sounded so screechy. Chi-Chi's always been a nag, but her voice has never matched it, and I really hope they don't want to try to match the nagging persona that she has, because her voice really got to me. I just did not like it at all. And Another thing I disliked, why was Piccolo spying on Gohan and Videl? Like, that was just so unnecessary. Come on, man, go get a life or something. Trunks and Goten, even having a little bit of trouble with that snake was kind of like, really? You guys could easily have beaten that snake without any trouble. And another thing is Gohan. Why are you still studying, man? I mean, didn't that whole event with Majin Buu, I said Blue, Majin Buu blowing up the entire planet and threatening to destroy the entire universe, not like click something in your brain that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be studying so much, maybe I should be training a little bit more? But anyway, luckily it seems like that's being fixed in the newer episodes of Dragon Ball Super, but we'll see. And another thing, Chi-Chi wants to spend that money on tutors for Goten. She already has her scholar. Let Goten be a martial artist. Like, seriously, she was a martial artist once. Why doesn't she want at least one inheritor of their martial arts title, you know? Alright, so my overall thoughts on the episode. It was a slow episode, but of course it was the first episode of the show, so it has to be a little bit slow. And it was all over the place with characters and all that. It wasn't very cohesive storytelling. And one thing, why couldn't Goten catch the tractor? I know I said this earlier, but like, he should have been able to catch that tractor when it went over the mountain. That's one thing that I just had to ask why. And how do people still think Mr. Hercule is still so strong? I mean, I guess no one really... Wait a minute. I just thought of something as I'm sitting here making this. He was just telling them that no alien... Mr. Satan was saying to the press that no alien presence has threatened Earth since the whole Majin Buu incident. But maybe... Okay, you know what? I was sitting here thinking too. Maybe they used the Dragon Balls to wish away Fat Buu. Wish away, Fat Buu's memories from everyone. But they all still remember Kid Buu. That might be it. Yeah. Okay. That's about the only thing that I can think of that would make sense. Okay. So, I guess that's why people would still think Mr. Hercule is so strong. Because they saw how powerful Kid Buu was, and they think that Hercule is the one who brought him down. Alright, so my overall thoughts on the episode are... It was a slow episode, but, it has to be for the first episode to make sense. But the storytelling wasn't that cohesive. The character placement was all over. People, was jumping from one point or one perspective from another too quickly. But overall, it was a good starting point for the show, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So, if you haven't checked out Dragon Ball Super, go ahead. It's about as long as this review is. Don't worry, they're all not going to be this long. But I just, they'll get shorter as I do more and more of these, and I figure out what exactly I should say and all that. Because this is only my second review episode, don't forget. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Dragon Ball Super, because you've been waiting for the English dub, it's finally out. Go watch it. It's decent. Like I said, it's only the first episode, so we can't be too critical of it yet. So, anyway, this has been Chimera 45, and I hope you have enjoyed my first review of the first episode of Dragon Ball Super. And I will see you either Friday or Saturday for a review of episode 2.